Hey, you all. How y'all doing? Good? You got your snacks, you got your headphones, your favorite blanket, charger, and all that good stuff. I hope you're having an amazing day. I also hope that if you're at work, that you get off soon so you can go home and chill. But here we are down the rabbit hole yet again, because when do we not go down the rabbit hole? When do I not have something for you? But here we are. Let's do it. So if you've ever seen this movie, then your life has truly meant something. Okay, like you've really had an amazing childhood. If you've seen this movie or heard of this story, then you had an amazing childhood also. And I bet you're trying to wonder, why am I doing this? Okay, so I'm gonna take you to the place why I'm doing this. I got one more for you. And y'all, this is my all-time favorite movie. Like, I don't think people understand why this is my favorite movie. I love me some Jim Caviezel. Okay. Jim Caviezel is one of my favorite actors. Okay. One of my favorite actors. Okay. Just let's put that out there because I don't like just one. Okay. But anyway, if you've seen this movie or heard of this story also, you would understand why, where, or why it's so important. So as you can see, right, the gentleman that we have on the screen right now authored all three books. I bet you didn't know it was, yeah. Some of y'all probably did. It's cool. But for those who did not, okay, I thought this was amazing. I absolutely thought this was amazing. And I probably learned this probably maybe about 10 years ago. And I just wanted to share it because this is a story that I've been trying to do. The last time I made this story, my mic went out on me and I was literally it was nothing but just you seeing me talking and not a word coming out. But we here now. We gonna go down this rabbit hole and let's do it. And it's a young boy born in 1802 in a small French village who would one day become one of the most famous storytellers the world has ever known, Alexander Dumas. But before we speak of the writer, we must speak of the shadow that shaped him. His father, Thomas Alexander Dumas, a man of towering presence, a general in the revolutionary France, and the highest ranking man of African descent in a European army of his time. He fought under Napoleon, feared no battle, and stood as a symbol of courage. Yet, despite his bravery, Thomas Dumas fell from favor. Imprisoned, betrayed, and left without the glory he earned. He transitioned when his son was just a boy. That wound, that memory of injustice would echo through Alexander's pen for the rest of his life. Alexander grew up in poverty, but with the gift for words and a hunger for adventure, he wrote stories so thrilling, so full of life that they leapt off the page like sword fights in the streets. The Three Musketeers, The Man in the Iron Mask, and perhaps the most famous work, The Count of Monte Cristo. Here's where the story turns poetic. The Count of Monte Cristo is the tale of Edmond Dantes, a man betrayed, imprisoned unjustly, and stripped of everything, only to rise again with intelligence, wit, and perseverance, reclaiming his honor and destiny. Do you hear that echo? It's the story of his father, Thomas Dumas, woven in disguise. Alexander gave his father the justice life had denied him. Through fiction, his pen became his sword, striking down betrayal with imagination. Alexander wasn't just a writer, he was a phenomenon. His works are so beloved that they've never gone out of print. He employed a team of assistants to help him churn out tales faster than readers could consume them. He was like the Netflix of his time, serializing adventure after adventure for hungry audiences. And let me tell you, Dumas himself lived like a character in one of his novels. So here's a story, and I found out this story when I was watching a show. And I thought it was so cool, so I'm gonna share it with you anyway. But I'm not gonna tell you what the show is because that's my business. I'm lying. The name of the show is I think it's Mysteries of the Museum, I believe. I don't remember where it's at, but it's one of my favorite shows. When he was just about 23, he fought his very first duel because another man mocked his cloak and his boots. What began as an affair of pew-pews turned into swords. And on a cold winter's day, he stripped down layer by layer to prepare. But when his suspenders slipped and his broken belt buckle gave way, his pants dropped to the ground in front of the crowd. Everyone laughed, but Dumas, with his flair for drama, simply tied them back up and carried on. And guess what? He actually won the duel. When his opponent tripped and surrendered, even in embarrassment, he turned disgrace into triumph. When you pick up the Count of Monte Cristo, you aren't just reading a story. You're reading a son's tribute to a father, a tale of resilience, and the reminder that betrayal can break a man, but it can also build a legend. Alexander Dumas didn't just write adventure. He lived it. He breathed it. And through his words, he made sure that his father's story would never be forgotten. He transitioned on December 5th, 1870 in Poise, France, I believe. Pise, France. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Charge to my wood and not my wood. Okay. And though he was laid to rest quietly at first in 2002, his remains were moved to the Pantheon in Paris. I know that word. I know that word. Okay, I know that word. Anyway, the resting place of France's greatest heroes of literature. A final honor for a man who gave the world so many unforgettable adventures. So y'all thought I was gonna leave y'all without some fun facts? Yeah, we're not doing that. I gotta give y'all the fun facts because that's what makes up this story. So here we go. Um, Alexander Dumas was of mixed heritage. His grandmother was enslaved in Haiti, and his father was a black general of France. He probably embraced his heritage in a time when racism was rampant. Number two, he wrote more than 100,000 pages in his lifetime. Can you imagine that? Number three, when critics mocked his background, Dumas famously replied, and TikTok, this is for educational purposes only. I'm only reciting what the person himself said, so don't come for me. My father was a mulatto. My grandfather was a Negro. And my great grandfather was a monkey. You see, sir, my family starts where yours ends. Listen, savagery. That's a whole clapback right there. That is a whole clapback. Number 4, he loved food so much that he wrote an entire culinary dictionary. Number 5, his works have been adapted into over 200 films. He basically lives forever on screen. I thank y'all for coming to my TED Talk. I hope I bring you some information that you didn't know today. I hope I took you down the rabbit hole, and I hope I brought you back safely because, we go down the rabbit hole and sometimes y'all get lost in the sauce, and I'm not responsible if you decide to stay there. You know what I mean? Like, listen, by all means, I humbly oblige it, but sometimes y'all can't blame me for staying down that rabbit hole. But I hope I brought you back. I hope that you was tied around your waist so you could follow me back out the rabbit hole, you know? But I see y'all in these TikTok streets. I thank you for coming. Bye.